Reading the Parsha of the Novi Sheker, the false prophet. It's not a person just comes and he says he's a prophet and then he speaks in the name of Hashem and he says you should go do idolatry. It's a person who's proven himself to be a Novi. He performs a revealed miracle, forecasts the future, and then he communicates in the name of Hashem, we should do idolatry. Torah says this is a Navi who has to be put to death. The Navi says, but that's what God told me. And he's not necessarily lying. In his mind, he had a vision that he was told to communicate that what? That they should do idolatry. But how does he know factually that whatever that communication is, it can't be God, but it must come from some other source? How does he know this? We read in the Yud Gimel Ikrei Emunah, Rambam says that one of the Ikrei Emunah is an imam b'mushleim shkol divrei neviim emes, that all the words in the Nevi'im are emes. First, how do you know the words in the Nevi'im are emes? How do we know this? And the next fundamental is an imamin b'emunah shleim nuvuas Moshe Rabbeinu olav Hashem hoysa amitis. The prophecy of Moshe was true. V'shuayo av la neviim, and he was the father of all neviim. La kol milfon l'bo machrav, that who had preceded him, who had followed him. Why is that such a fundamental? Not only is his nevuah emes, but that he's the father of all neviim, all those who preceded him and followed him. Until Sinai, the whole concept of nevuah was based on only one's assessment, one's only sense of reality. But it was never conferred factually that it was nevuah. The only one who knew that it was nevuah, that it was prophecy, was the one who received the communication. But in terms of what he had transmitted to others, that was purely based on what? Convincing others that because of who he was, that he had that communication. Sinai was the first and the last time in the history of existence that prophecy was confirmed on an absolute level. Because at Sinai, as the Rambam says, that every Jew prophesied in the awake state, and every Jew at Sinai had witnessed Hashem openly communicating to Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe lechem Elohim kach v'kach, Moshe tell them such and such. And as a result of witnessing this ourselves in this most absolute state, Moshe was confirmed to be God's spokesman. Once Moshe was confirmed as that, any word of Moshe is Devar Hashem. So this is why Moshe Rabbeinu's word is Devar Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu is the Avad Nevi'im. He's the father of all prophets, greater than all those who preceded him, followed him. Moshe's prophecy was what? Was an awake state, not in a sleep state. And Moshe Rabbeinu was confirmed and identified and designated as Hashem's spokesman. As a result of this, if any prophet says anything differently than Moshe Rabbeinu, he's a false prophet. Because Moshe, factually, we know he is the real prophet. Any other prophet that we assume that he is a prophet, it's all based on the criteria which Moshe Rabbeinu set in place, which is part of Torah. Which the Torah set the criteria of how to identify a prophet to be a true prophet. So this man now comes and he meets all this, the prerequisites. Performs a miracle, forecasts the future, he's established a true prophet. All of a sudden now he tells me, you should go in the name of Hashem, do idolatry. He says, I disagree with Moshe. Moshe says no, I say yes. But the fact is, why are you a prophet? What is the basis even to accept you as a prophet? Only because Moshe Rabbeinu, who was designated by God to be his spokesman, had stated in Hashem that you are a prophet. However, what you're communicating, God never said. Why? Because Moshe is God's spokesman. As a result of that, you can't disagree with Moshe Rabbeinu. Because the basis for you even to be identified as a prophet is only what was communicated to Moshe in the name of Hashem, which is factual, and therefore you are a false prophet. Because it's contradictory if you are God's prophet, which you may be, but there's no way God could have said this, therefore he deserves to be put to death.